So hello and welcome to Material Musings. So this week I am going to show you these three journals that I've made, and we'll start with this one first, or four. That's probably the smallest one that I've made, but we'll get to that. So we'll start with this one first. So this was when I was doing the 100-day project, and I decided to do 100 embroidery stitches because I've had this book for years, and back then it only cost me 10 pence, but I think it's from 1967. So think about how old that is. My word, 57 years old. Look at that. Pages are still good. You know, sometimes they can get all the spots on. But here's 100 embroidery stitches, and I went through it and I was going through it, and I had to stop at 50. I was just like, I couldn't go anymore. I was just, it's not to say that I won't maybe continue looking at some of the stitches, and because I'm learning new stitches, it's nice to be able to go back in, and I've just kind of ticked where the ones that I've actually completed, but some of the stitches I was just like, I'm never going to use that. But I never say never, because what's happened is, you know, you can often find yourself, you never thought you would, and then that's the very stitch that you need. Done. Anyway, so here are all the ones that I did, and I think what I might do is, yeah, again, go back and practice. So that was a blanket stitch. Or was this the blanket stitch? But just practice some more. I did several stitches on the same page, and then after a while I was just like, do you know what, 50 stitches is good. So where I've done some stitches and I'm thinking, do you know what, I could do better. Now you can just do it in your own time and perfect the stitches. So I think I'm glad that I did them. So now what I want to do is go back and perfect them. So having them all together like this, I enjoy. And I've also got the option of, I can add another piece of fabric to it to continue the stitches on the back, or, you know, if I wanted to practice some more but keep those particular stitches together. So that's this, but I created like a journal from it. This was a wax resist piece, and this is how it looks. It's got a figure on it, or a couple of figures on it, 3, and yeah, so wax resist faces, and then I was, you know, adding to it, and then I stitched it together and thought this would make the perfect book, fabric book for my fabric stitches. So all that's missing really is a little pocket. So I'm going to make a little pocket and put it there. So that's that one. And we'll go to the smallest one that I've made. I think you need to come in. There we go. So look at this. So this is the smallest one that I've made with its little tie off. I still haven't finished it. It was so small anyway, but it really does use all the scraps. So I've got the base material, which is the book itself, and then I've just taken scraps of fabric that I didn't want to throw away, or I just wanted to experiment. So these are what the pages look like. So this was from sort of like a fabric, it was like a fabric blind. And then I thought, oh, I know what I could do with that. when we decided to change the window fittings, it was just like, oh, let me see how I can use it. And it's fabric, so it's like, this is ideal to maybe just play about on. Oh, I've just got an idea as well. Okay. So yeah, add in all the scrap fabrics and then stitching them together, add in like a tie off. There we got a button in front. This hanging piece, I was just like, or maybe it can go up like that, and then you tie it there. So we've got a nice little mini fabric journal. And then let's have a look at some of these. Let's have a look at these two that I created. Let's look at this one first. So this one is done in a similar fashion to the journal I shared a few weeks ago that has got made from the greetings cards and the fabric. But I've brought the fabrics together, added buttons, and we've even got some yarn that I stitched in. This particular material was a shawl that I had. I didn't want to throw it away. I really loved it, but it was kind of like losing its colour. And I've used it for both of these. But I've experimented with different things. Here you can see beading. We've got a bit of an instrument there. We've got some paper beads here. This is a pretty bead. And then when we look on the inside, it is all fabric. I've got about, I think I've got we've got 3 signatures. So I've got this band at the front where it's keeping small bits of fabric. Here it's padded, and then I've got some of these fabric pages that I've worked on. Let's remove all of these excess things. But I've experimented with the page. This was crochet and I added it to this page, how does your garden grow? And then I've added some stitching. And some of the pages have been painted. I've added imagery to it. This was some of the pages I'm painting, so it's not just using stitching. So we've got journaling and painting there. Again, ones that maybe I haven't yet finished. And then we've just got experimenting, wax resist, experimenting, painting, seeing how you can make, use different techniques on fabric and bring them together. Then we've got a smaller signature, we've got smaller bits of fabric that have been added together. And again, it's like, I guess, a sampler where you can, you can try a technique on the fabric and see how it turns out, see what you think of it, and then make a bigger version of it. We've got glitter on like this fabric here, some painted fabric. There's a lot of threads that I'm going to leave that there. But some of the colours, we've got a mixture of colours and stenciling. And then at the back, other fabric that I can work on or have worked on, and it needs now to find its home, whether it's in here or whether it's in one of the other journals that I've been sharing. And then this is some felt. I haven't yet decided what I wanted to do with it, but this can either be like used as a stencil or it can be stitched to a project. So in the meantime, I'll just leave these here at the front. and I can come back. Here's a piece that has been wax resist, and these elements that I added have now rusted, so I think I'll remove them. They were just stitched on with a bead, and the piece itself is a small piece that has been wax resist, and you've now got the rusted effect on them. Okay, and it's got a little tie off here and a pocket that can add some really nice things. So again, this one was done in a similar style to the first one that I showed you, which I was inspired by Tisha Moore. So, you know, you make the panels and then you bring them together, you decorate them, and yeah, you can use them in whatever way you will. So this particular one is using, again, a lot of fabrics that I had. This is the scarf. I think I had 2 of them. So here I've got a crochet piece, and then we've got the signatures, and I'll just quickly go through it because it's very similar in the other way, where you can make yourself pockets and use some of the elements that you might have, practice, and, you know, paint. This is wax resist, dyed. I was working with some leather here and some jeans material, but the pages, again, I've added a variety of different things to it. They're not totally finished. I was playing around with glue and glitter. Here, painted fabric. Some of my stamps that I was making. Working with some of these brads. And just, again, playing with inks, and these ones I'll be coming back to, because just like when I do my pencils, add in the ink to fabric, and then you can go round, and this is a nice activity where you just take your time and embellish using this jelly roll pen. And because it's been gessoed, I'm not going to damage my pen, and the ink is a permanent ink, so even if I've got something like I find that these pens don't like the water-soluble wax crayons. So because I've got the permanent ink, I can work on that. So let's just come in so you can get a better view. So as I say, you know, I can then come back into this journal and work on the pages where I've added the ink and created a design. So I hope that that's been useful to you, and that you found some interesting ideas that you can then take and use on your creative projects, and have fun with your fabrics. And if you've got some ideas for working with paints, then you can try it out, create yourself a nice mini journal, and then you can try out some of the ideas on the surfaces that you may have. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to spending some more time with you working through some of these journals. So with that, I hope you take care for now, and I look forward to seeing you again.